What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Hoodie Q-Tip. We're back with another video. This time, we're talking about the last three playoff spots. We talked about the two seed who ended up with the two seed. This time, we're talking about the last three playoff spots. We have four teams, still five technically. Washington is still in the conversation, but they've lost four straight, so they're kind of out of the conversation at this point. They have a lot of work to do. They have to win every single game and get some help. The last three spots, 6, 7, 8, coming down to four teams. Indiana is currently at 6. They're 20 and 18. They're 4 and 6 in their last 10. Golden State is at 7. They're 19 and 18, 5 and 5 in their last 10. Seattle is 20 and 19, 4 and 6 in their last 10. And then the Sparks are at 9, 17 and 19, and 6 and 4 in their last 10. So as you can see, not a ton of consistency there. Very up and down between the last 10 games for these last four teams. Um, and that's basically what it's been like all season, except for probably Seattle. I would say Seattle at one point was up with the 2, 3, 4 spot, and then they fell down. They were actually in the contenders talks for me. I think at one point I had them as the third contender. Um, so I don't know. I don't think I still have them like that. So maybe I have to do another one before the season ends or right before the playoffs. Um, Indiana to be 20 and 18 without Caitlin playing as many games as she has. She's missed 4 games here, then 5 games here, and then I think she's missed like 14, 15, maybe 16 straight. Uh, so for them to be able to do what they've done without her for this long of the stretch of the season, if you would have said coming into the season that she missed this many games, I don't think many teams would have said they'd be over 500 and have a playoff spot. But that goes to show just how talented this team is, and it's not just Caitlin Clark that's been out with injury. They lost Ari McDonald when they picked her up off the street. They lost Sophie Cunningham. They lost Dewana Bonner to that was an injury, but that was a player they came into the season with thinking that was going to be a big piece for them. Obviously, things went wrong there. They don't have her anymore. Um, yeah, what's her name? Sydney Colson got hurt as well, is out for the season. So it hasn't just been Caitlin Clark out with injuries. Like they've been hit with injuries. I would say outside of Kelsey Mitchell, Leah Boston, and Natasha Howard, everyone else has been touched with some kind of injury, whether it be Lexi Hole or whoever. And major shout out to Kelsey Mitchell, who is in MVP conversations. Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard have been holding down the front court all season long. Natasha Howard's Commissioner Cup MVP. Aaliyah Boston been super consistent, been great defensively, offensively, both making plays for herself, making plays for others. Super confident. So that's been great to see as well. Golden State team that many people didn't expect much from. Many people didn't even expect them to win more than double digit win or more than double digit games. They've won 19. They have a chance to win 20 games in their first inaugural season. They lost their All Star halfway through the season. Well, I wouldn't say halfway through the season. After the All Star break, they lost Kayla Thornton for the rest of the season, and still have made. They still have found ways to win games against really good teams. So um, they deserve a ton of credit. Veronica Burton is an MIP candidate. Janelle Salon is a rookie of the year. I wouldn't say rookie of the year candidate, but like all rookie team. Cecilia Zandalazini was on a roll before she got hurt. Um, Kate Martin and the minutes that she's played, her minutes have been kind of up and down throughout the season, but when she's played, she's had some big games where she's just absolutely lit it up from three. Mo Billings, when she hasn't been hurt, has been really good. Timmy Fakvimle has been really good outside of like the Eurobasket time where she was gone. Carla Late has been pretty good for them as well. Like they just have so many options, so many different players that come out and play well for them. And it's just refreshing to see because a lot of teams have to focus on one player or play through one player or a very ISO heavy team. This is a team that has to play through each other or they're not going to win because they don't have that ability to just give it to a player and just like, all right, go get us a bucket. Even when Kayla Thorne was there, they weren't just like, all right, Kayla Thornton, like do your thing. Like it was through the offense that she was getting the shots and getting the opportunities that she was. Seattle, 8 seed right now, 20 and 19, 4 and 6 in their last 10. They went on a 6 game losing streak. Um, really difficult team to figure out. Honestly, they were like 19 and 12 at one point. Now they're 20 and 19. Like they have so much talent on that roster. Even more bringing in Brittany Sykes after the All Star break is like this team should not be at an 8 spot, and them being at an 8 spot is gonna most likely cause them to miss out on getting past the first round again. Like they have had too much talent over the last couple of years to have the kind of success that they've had, or the amount of success they have, which isn't a lot. Uh, Now they could jump up and get to that 6 seed and play somebody that's not Minnesota. But with the way they played, I don't really like their chances against Atlanta, Vegas, Phoenix, or New York. Now, again, like this is we're saying that now, but in a week and a half, they could win six straight and look like the team that they were early in the season. So it's really hard to tell, but from what we've seen over the last month, they have been a very good team. They haven't been good at closing. They haven't been great defensively. With as many defenders as they have on the court, I don't understand how there's games and stretches where they're just really bad defensively. It's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of you go here, I go there. It's just too much going on for a team that is full of veterans outside of Dominique Malonga. There's just too many veterans on the team for you to be struggling this much. And the team has been pretty much the same. It hasn't changed that much. The core has been the same, at least, with Gabby, Neka, Ezzy, Gabby, or Skylar, Neka, Gabby, Ezzy. And then you bring in Brittany Sykes, who should have been a plug and play player that doesn't really cause that much of a disruption. Sorry. Um, but they still haven't been able to figure that out completely. Um, but they obviously they're going all in kind of for this season. So they definitely aren't giving up on the season, which they shouldn't. But it is going to be interesting to see how they finish out the season. And then the Sparks, who have gone on a winning streak, and now they're kind of falling back down to earth. They're back under 500 at 17 and 19. They are a game and a half behind. Sorry, yeah, a game and a half behind Seattle and Golden State, and then they're 2 games behind Indiana. So they still have some ground to make up. They have a lot of work to do. Uh, we're gonna look at schedules to see what it looks like. The Fever play the Sparks Friday, big game there. That's basically a playoff game, and then the Fever play the Valkyries on Sunday, also basically a playoff game. That's 2 games. That's 2 games in 2 days against teams that are currently below you. Golden State is only 1 game back of them, or half a game back of them, actually, half a game back of them, and then the Sparks are 2 games below them. So this weekend could be huge for either the Sparks, the Valkyries, or the Fever. We don't know if Caitlin Clark is coming back yet. There's potential that she could come back soon. We don't know exactly what game. That changes things for sure. And then in September, they have 4 games. They play the Mercury in Phoenix. They play the Sky one more time in Indiana. They play the Mystics in Washington, and then they end the season with Minnesota. And I think that's funny because there was when me and Bryce looked at the betting odds for like over and unders before the season, the Fever were really high. We came back to look at it mid-season or like after All-Star break, I think, and it was just interesting to see what teams they had being where. So I think this might have been made the last game, thinking that these were going to be like 1, 2, 3 in terms of seeding. Uh, the Lynx Fever game, I mean. So that's really interesting to see because a lot of times you see at the end of the season, sometimes it shakes out that there's a game that ends up being super important in terms of if you win this, you get into the playoffs. You win this, you get this seeding kind of thing. So um, the Fever, I wouldn't say have a favorable schedule, but they control their own destiny. Being at the sixth spot right now, you play 2 teams below you, really 3 teams below you, with the Mystics included. Um, and then you play the Sky, who are not a playoff team. You play the Mercury, who are above you, and you play the Lynx, who are above you. But the last game of the season, the Lynx may not even play their starters, depending on what it looks like. They're 6 games ahead of the second seed, so they really probably won't need to play them at that point. Um, but we'll see how that goes. Cheryl Reeve doesn't seem like the type to really rest her players as often, but we'll see. Um, Golden State has the Valkyries Saturday, and then a back to back, but these are at home. They have a they have the Mystics on Saturday and the Fever on Sunday, like we mentioned. And then in September they have 5 games. They play the Liberty in Golden State. They play the Wings in Golden State. They play the Lynx in Golden State. and then they play the Storm and the Lynx on the road to end the season. So they probably have the most difficult stretch of any team that we've gone through in these last two videos. That's actually a really difficult stretch. Like the first two games, obviously winnable games with the Mystics and the Fever. Those are two teams that are very similar in the way that they've been this season, very similar in record. But after that, you've got the Liberty. Now, granted, these some of these games are at home, so it gives them an edge because I think they have 5 games straight at home. So, and they've been really good at home. So we'll see how that goes. Outside of the Wings, every team on this thing besides the Mystics is in the playoffs currently. So if the Valkyries want to make the playoffs, they have to beat playoff teams to get into the playoffs. That is very, very difficult, especially with a team that doesn't have the star talent that these other teams have. They don't have the Caitlin Clark. They don't have the Skylar Diggins or Nneka Ogwumike. They don't have the Sabrina or Brianna Stewart or Joshua Jones. They don't have the Asia Wilson or the Nafisa Collier. Like they don't have that top end talent to battle these teams when it gets to this stretch because a lot of times, yes, it your team matters, but also having the best player on the court is a huge, huge factor in how you play in playoff settings and how you play in playoff type of games. And you don't know who the Valkyries' best player is on any given night. Like it could be Janelle Salon, it could be Sandra Lanini, it could be Veronica Verdon, it could be Timmy Fabin. Like you just don't know. It could be Ileana Rupert. Like you just don't know. And yes, that's been good for them, but at this stretch of the season, I don't know if that's a good thing. Uh, Seattle, they have the Lynx Thursday in Minnesota. Tough game, super tough game. Minnesota's, I think, only lost 1 game technically at home. I think they've lost two actually come Commissioner's Cup. Uh, they play the Sky in Seattle on Saturday, and then they have 3 games. Like their season is almost over. They've got 5 games left. They play the Sparks in Seattle. They play the Liberty in Seattle, and they play the Valkyries in Seattle to end the season. So this isn't this is also a pretty difficult schedule. I will say, they I'll be honest, they probably lose to the Lynx. They haven't played well enough for me to give them the benefit of the doubt. If they win the game, they win the game. Wouldn't be super surprised, but I'm gonna say like based on what we've seen this season and what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, I would take the Lynx in that game. I, the Sky should or the Storm should beat the Sky at home on Saturday, but you never know. Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso have been great when they played together over the last couple of months or so. They started out a little slow, but they turned it around. Then the Storm have the Sparks, Liberty, and Valkyries to end the season at home. They could go 4-1, 3-2 in that stretch. They could also go 2-3, 1-4 in that stretch. Like they're a super hard team to navigate and figure out what they're gonna do or what they're capable of doing. And then the Sparks, sorry, I clicked on the Storm again. The Sparks in the season, uh, they have the Fever on Friday at home. They have the Sparks. They have the Mystics on Friday at home. 2 games they absolutely need. They need both of those games. 100% need both of those games. Then they play the Storm in Seattle, which obviously is a big game because Seattle's 8 right now. Sparks are 9. Then they have the Dream back to back in Atlanta. Next Wednesday and Friday. Then they have the Wings in LA. They have the Mercury in Phoenix, and then they have the Aces in LA to end the season. So this is probably a very difficult schedule as well. I think Golden State and the Sparks have their work cut out for them in terms of scheduling. Indiana and Seattle have a more favorable schedule than the other two. I wouldn't say it's super favorable, but the Sparks have, besides the Wings, I think they play a playoff team every game here on out. The Mystics aren't in the playoffs, so the Fever, the Fevers, Storm, Dream, Mercury, Aces. All those teams are in the playoffs currently. So It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens. A lot of playoff type of games, basically playoff games coming down the stretch this following weeks. The last game of the season is September 11th, so about a week and a half from the season being over. It's going to be really, or I guess 2 weeks. So it's going to be really interesting to see how teams compete, how teams try to jockey for position, figure out where they want to be. Obviously, the 2 seed is where you want to be if you're in that conversation. Obviously, the 6 seed is where you want to be if we're in this conversation. Uh, but it's going to be interesting to see like who's the 2 seed when you're trying to jockey for the 6 or 7 seed. Like if it's a team that you feel like you can beat in the 2 seed, maybe you stay there and then take your chances with whoever wins the 3-6 matchup. Like it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. So like I said on the last video, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know who you feel is gonna make the last 3 spots. And let me know how you feel about the WNBA playoffs coming up. Let me know how you feel about WNBA MVP talks, DPOY talks, all WNBA. Let me know everything. Let me know in the comments. We can start a discussion. I can come on here and talk about it some more. Just let me know. Thanks, guys.